Good day, Munir Ajam, the CEO of Uruk Project Management. In today's audio presentation, I want to share with you some overview aspects of the Uruk platform and also provide an update of the development work as of today, June 30th, 2022. So in this first section of the presentation, we'll have a little bit of an overview. So we start with the platform structure versus the market view. If we think about the structure of the platform, for example, and this is a long-term vision, this is not today. Basically, when a user, an organization, go onto the platform, they should be able to see these 8 elements. So basically, in terms of structure, our current vision of the platform to include 8 elements. These elements, what we highlight here start with the blue colors. Governance, managing the portfolio, and organizational integration. These are future. We have not worked on these yet. Most likely, the organizational integration will be probably more than a year away. However, managing the portfolio could start as soon as the fourth quarter of this year. What we have in the orange on the left are things that are already built. They are already active. However, they are more of a support, not really part of the core functionality. So for example, the community of practice include community discussions, forums include knowledge portal, so educational content, knowledge sharing, exchanging of ideas, whereas it doesn't actually get into the functionality of managing project. However, again, there is a knowledge portal in there that include already many references, probably more than 30 references there between ebooks, guideline, general information, glossaries, and other factors. The administrative part is just basically for timesheet and any other administrative team management stuff, but it's there. So these are done, although they are done and open for improvement like everything else. In the area of the green, we have the managing the portfolio, which is on the lower right hand. It's basically managing, the project, and that is the main focus for us has been since we started Uruk. Until today, we are still focusing on that area, and we included some function, PM function like cost, scope, but simplified version of these things are already included. Managing the program will be coming in the third quarter this year. But so basically what we expect is by the end of summer, we should have, out of these 8, we should have 4 already active, and we will have the managing program already active as well by the end of summer. That's the current vision in terms of the structure of the platform. However, when it comes to managing project, if we think from a marketing perspective or a market perspective, the platform would have some elements designed to accommodate or more aligned with certain verticals in project management, and which sometimes people call it verticals. We are using the term sectors and domain. Well, that doesn't matter what you call it. It's basically we look at this kind of picture, and this is only an example. So let me quickly go through this. On the left, we have what we call the capital intensive project, and we already have some tailored method related to that one. Then within that sector, the capital intensive project sector, there are many domains such as oil and gas, infrastructure, renewable utilities. You can read the slide on your own time. And then we have technology as a sector, and underneath we have also some elements, some domain. Then we go what we have the general business project. These are generic projects that are that could be where we could use the platform for. So these 3 sectors on the left, the capital intensive, technology project, and general business project, have active tailored method in the system as of today, already available for you to use. The vision is that we would include many other sectors, and here we're putting as an example government project, and there are many domains below it, and then we have other possible verticals or sector, so technically each one of these boxes here in the light blue could become a sector on its own with domains below it, right? Now, on the right side, the orange are the scenes that are not related to a specific sector. These are, for example, governance, program management, portfolio management, built-in PMO. Those will be developed. Some of them, as we mentioned already, program management, for example, will be this summer. Other might be done a bit later. So that's the primary difference here. If we want to look, when we talk about the Uruk platform, we need to think of the platform from two different angles. One is that what would be the structure of the platform when people go to use it, what would we see? And then in terms of which industries or domain the platform address. Technically, project management exists today everywhere. So ultimately, long-term vision, we need to have tailored method for everything. Now, does it make sense? Well, for us, absolutely, right? Because we realize that to manage project effectively, we need to have tailored method. Tailored method, that means it has to be customized, adapted to fit for purpose, for the exact context of a project. Now, this is, we'll provide, as we will discuss later, some of these features could be done by the users, right? They can go in and develop their own tailored method, which we provide all the components, and basically, it's like, for example, we'll provide all the ingredient for a good meal, and then we let you cook it, right? That basically may be a simplified way of looking at this. So regardless what type of food you want to create, whether they are Thai food or French or British or American or Mexican, right? And then within that, maybe there are different kind of flavors. That's exactly the same concept here. And, regardless where you are in the world, you need to eat, you need to cook, you need to manage projects. The ingredients could be similar, with some variation. The way we cook is different. In terms of a roadmap, it's a long-term roadmap, as we've mentioned, and you can see we are only at the beginning. So we're showing the dateline as of the end of June this year. We have already done the first part of the program, which is to do the initial product, the proof of concept, and initial MVP. And we have been working on adding tailored method, and we'll be adding the program management in this ongoing program today. And technically, effectively, we just started also working on program 3, which is a tailored method as an ongoing program, which means this will be probably ongoing for many years until, I don't know if this is possible, until one day we reach where we have tailored method for everything in life, which I don't think it might be logical, but at least it will be ongoing to as long as there is a need to create and tailor and customize method for managing projects. Until maybe the robots take over and they can do it themselves. Anyway, so basically this is more of a roadmap, and again, it's a long-term roadmap, and this is why we want to started this presentation to focus on the long-term vision. Most of the remaining part of this presentation focus on where we are today and what we have today. So our progress. What's available today, right? And it's like a maze. We always look, even when I used to do training in Dubai years ago, I always like to use the maze of project management, right? Because to us, what we think about project management as a maze. You go in and you go through so many twists and turns until you have to get out, hopefully successfully at the end. To manage project, it is a maze because there are many things that affect us along the way. So what we have today in the area of managing projects, so focusing on the managing a project element of the platform and the supporting areas, we have the functionality to manage a project lifecycle, right, across the stages. So basically, Uruk is the project lifecycle stage gate process kind of an approach that ideal to follow project, to lead project from inception all the way to success, and obviously that come after we hand over the product of the project to the people who are going to use it and we realize the benefit. So Uruk is about managing across the whole life cycle using tailored method, right? Because we keep focusing on the idea of tailoring because we think this is extremely critical for the success of managing project. In addition to managing across the life cycle, we need to manage every stage, right? please listen to me on the next few things that I will be saying, and they're not meant to be criticism. They are a description of the situation. When we look at project management body of knowledge guide, the PMI PMBOK guide, it is really talked about it is about the project management. However, we have developed and we have the views, and if you like, we have a video on this somewhere on our applied project management channel. That is really our view is the project management body of knowledge guide, PMBOK guide, is ideal, and the similar ISO, and I'm talking about the previous version of ISO and the previous version of the guide. They are ideal for managing a stage of the project. So when we talk about the process group, the PMBOK guide is very clear. The process group are not project stages. They actually should repeat in every stage, right? So to manage project across a life cycle, we need some kind of a project life cycle tailored method that is fit for purpose. But then obviously we know that that tailored method, that project life cycle have stages in it. So we need to manage every stage, because success of the project depends on the success of the stages. If we don't do a stage well, it affects everything, especially in the early stages. If we don't do them well, they affect the stages that come after them. And as a result, it could lead to project problem, challenges, failure, whatever the case might be. So to manage stages, what we have two ways of doing that. We have something we call simplified stage management process. And then we have what we call the advanced stage management process. So there are two different modules. So when you are in the platform and you go into a stage, you will have the choice of selecting between the simplified and the advanced. Obviously, the simplified is ideal for situation where the stage is maybe small, it doesn't have many people involved, short duration. It doesn't need something very complex. A simplified process that includes 4 major processes and maybe some sub-processes in there is ideal, very flexible. However, when we start to get into major stages, for example, like the engineering stage of a residential community that could end up being 18 months or more in duration with hundreds of engineers working, by itself, that is, could be a significant project. Therefore, in order to manage that stage of the project, we need the advanced module with much more formality. All right, so we manage the life cycle, we manage the stages, but in addition to this, we have to manage what PMBOK called the knowledge area, what ISO calls subject area, which is scope, cost, schedule, risk, all of these good things. We know that many organizations, they already have their own processes. For example, some organizations use MS Project for scheduling, some use Primavera for scheduling or P6. Some might use some other solution that we don't know about. In terms of managing cost, if you are working in maybe general business or technology, managing cost is quite simple. If you work in engineering, construction, managing cost is quite extensive. So we realize that to manage these different functionalities, many organizations could have external system available in place. We don't want to replicate them at this stage. We don't need to replicate some of them. Some of them maybe we need to replicate if there's something doesn't exist in the market, we need to develop. What we have done so far is just created some simplified modules where it requires some data entry. So basically, and later on we can do a link syncing with your other software. If you have them and you want to sync with them, that's fine. However, what we're doing right now is we're providing simplified modules, and primarily to consolidate the output. For example, for change management, you manage change outside. What we'll provide in Uruk is a place where you can enter the number of changes, pending, approved, canceled, and the impact of those changes in order to produce a performance chart. So this way, when management take a look, they want to know what's going on with their project. They can go to the Uruk platform instead of going through 5 or 6 or 7 different software solutions or tools. They can go into Uruk, and Uruk will provide them the big picture about where is the project, what's happening, and how are we doing in each one of those functions. So right now, what we are saying here, we provide simplified module to consolidate the output of these functions from external sources into Uruk. As a result of that, we have the performance chart that include basically, we call it reporting area in Uruk, and that include performance chart, different report like stage report, project status report, project closeout report, and some dashboard. This section already have close to about 30 different metrics in chart. Down the road, we will be adding many more. Part of managing the project as well, we need to manage tasks. And to manage tasks, you have a list of tasks you can manage, you can add, you can import from MS Project template that will provide you. And you can see those tasks in a list view or a calendar view or a Kanban view to help you choose the way you would like to visualize them and monitor them and managing the completion of those tasks. We had already touched earlier on the knowledge portal with case studies, ebooks, and open contribution. What do we mean by that is that there are sections in the knowledge portal where Uruk will provide data. For example, right now we have 17 ebooks already. We have not uploaded any case studies yet. We have uploaded guidelines, we have uploaded ebooks. So there are sections there where we upload the information, right? But there is a section as well available for you, the user. If there is anything you would want to share with the global community, right? This is not confidential information about your company, but maybe you have case studies or things you would want to share as a user, you will be able to go in and include that. So basically there is a section of the knowledge portal which is an open library for any Uruk user to add information there, to share openly, as again, non-confidential information. Open collaboration, later on I will touch on this, that there are multiple places where there are open collaboration, and we can show you how collaboration is included in the platform. This is, I know you cannot read the slide right now, probably all the detail, but the whole intention of this, remember earlier we talked about the verticals, and what we have today, we have 3 sectors where we have tailored method built in the Uruk platform already, right? So if you go in the platform, after you add a project, you will have, and the project is approved by the sponsor, activated, you as the project manager will have to go select a tailored method, right? You select a tailored method today based on what we have built. And what we have built is 49 tailored method or variation of tailored method in the system. And those belong to 3 sectors: technology, capital intensive project, and general project. So if you look at the bottom here, there are general project. And basically, if you can see a big, we have posted, I think, a bigger this, but you can zoom in if you like. There are 16 methods here and 5 different project classification. So whether you are working on micro project, medium moderate project, small simple project, or large and complex project, or you have not classified your project yet, there are methods available for you to use, and there are 16 methods here. If we go to technology project, we don't have a lot so far, but what you can see, the small orange at the end of every pass are basically an indication of a tailored method. So if you look here, there are in technology, in software, right? We have developed some basically the first iteration. There are about 9 methods there that are available for you to select from. And when it comes to capital intensive project, there are about 24 methods there as well. Right? So basically, when you go into the system, you can select. I need to re-emphasize a word I just used earlier. First, or 2 words, first iteration. Many of these methods are there for first iteration. That means the life cycle is there. The ability to manage the stages are there. But we have not tailored every single thing about these projects. Right? So they are, when you go into a stage deliverable, there may be something you can add, or maybe things we include you don't need. That can be done. You can do that in the system itself. So we have not done that level of tailoring. We have not gone down in more detail, right? But they are available for you. And that's another way of looking at the same information. So if we look, you have the general, the generic domain. There are 5 project classifications that I showed you earlier. There are 16 tailored methods in between them, and then the rest are here. Now, down the road, there will be basically that each organization can develop, or we can develop infinite number of tailored methods. again, anybody could come to us and said, Munir, I don't want to I want a tailored method for events. We don't have one yet, for example, right? So we can sit down with your team, talk about what are the stages or the steps you go through from inception all the way to closure of an event, and then we can draw it for you, and within days we can give you a tailored method that fit exactly what you need. So we continue to add tailored method. In this slide, what I'm going to show you is what I call the various foundations of tailored method. Basically, in a way, when we look at tailored method, you have the life cycle will be different. As you can see, there are different life cycles could be possible. But the primary difference in terms of what we hear in the market today, in the community, the debate about traditional versus agile or waterfall versus agile, we don't believe these things are a project management method. However, when it comes to the development stage or the implementation stage, when we want to implement the work, we typically have two choices. Either we do what we call the Big Bang or we call iterative incremental development, right? So when we reach, we believe there is no difference between BBD and IID in terms of the early stages of this project. All of these projects require to define the concept, require feasibilities, require requirement, require management planning. The core difference is that when it comes to the implementation work, in BBD, we will probably follow some kind of a sequential development process. And for example, building a house, we have to clear the site, build the foundation, put the structure, put the walls, the windows, whatever. Whereas in software or maybe some other type of project, we can do what we call the incremental iterative development, where we can build the initial product, release it to market, and then start to add iteration or increment to the work until we are completely done. That's the primary difference, and these are the two top images that you see here. However, for BBD, we also basically said, look, some situation, maybe some client, they don't want to see the implementation stage as one stage. They like to break it down into 2 or 3 stages. So we provide that functionality. So how do we manage across the PLC, right? The idea is that you go into the system and you select a tailored method. And that tailored method, once you select it, it will define the number of stages and the stage gate that you need. Right? So, and then when you go into PLC management in the platform, you're going to see something like this. This one here, it reflects the standard method, the basic initial method we developed. So basically, you have stage gate 0, which is basically to activate the project so we can start working on it. And then you have, for every stage, you will have the concept. You have, for example, concept stage, there is a gate. Feasibility stage, there is a gate. So this kind of table, it's there, and it will be based on the tailored method you selected. So it will be different from one project to another, obviously from one tailored method to another, and it will be there again for you to use, and it will show you where you are. Like in this case, we have completed the concept stage and get approval at gate 1. We have completed the feasibility stage, and the project right now is sitting, waiting for the sponsor to approve at gate 2. Once the sponsor approves gate 2, it will open requirement stage. So notice the requirement stage and everything below it, and it's light gray. That means it's locked. You cannot use it because it hasn't been authorized yet. So to manage every stage, I touched earlier on that we have two modules. We have a simplified or advanced. So when you go into a stage, so basically, as you noticed on the previous slide, for example, we go into the requirement stage. The sponsor approves stage gate 2. We go into the requirement stage. You should see a screen like this come up and basically tell you, okay, what kind of tailored, what do you want to use for stage management, right? Do you want to follow the advanced or the simplified option? And you can select. And then when you click on simplified, you can see how it look like, and then you click on advanced, it will show you how it look like. Once you decide, you can submit and allow you to go, you follow the process to manage the stage. So once you select, you will get either the simplified module on the right. Notice this is like the process group, but it's simplified because we say plan, implement, control, and close the stage. So only 4 processes, whereas in the advanced module, we actually have more because we have the authorized. Planning, we've divided into management plan versus detailed plan. You control, you implement, and you close when you're done. So as you can see, there's more processes, but inside each one of these circles here or ovals, right, there are many sub processes that might be required. So simplified is quite easy, whereas the advanced, it has much more formality to it. As we mentioned earlier, the simplified is useful for simple stages, few people involved, short duration, whereas the advanced is for the much more comprehensive stages. And that's how it looked like in the system. You'll have the stage authorization, and there are gates in here, but these gates are approved by the project manager, just more of a formality to make sure the work is done. So we authorize the stage, we plan management of the stage, we plan detail of the stage, we implement the stage work, we control, and when we're done, we close. Right? So in the system, you click on any of these boxes that has been open for you. All right, so we manage across the stages. We need to manage every stage. Well, every stage typically produces a deliverable. We call it stage deliverable. There is an output. For example, the feasibility study, the feasibility stage is about conducting a feasibility study and publishing a feasibility study report. Right? So basically, that is an output. That is the output of the stage, the deliverable of the stage. Then these things need to go through a gate. So before they go through the gate, when a client role, we decide to subscribe to Uruk, we give them the functionality where the admin can go in and define the stage gate criteria. So let's say a client selected that we want to use 3 different tailored methods for different type of project. Great, so we'll give them the tailored method. Each tailored method will have a number of gates. It could be 9, it could be 5, it could be 3, whatever the case might be. And then they can go in and do it at rollout or during the onboarding process. They can go and set up the stage gate criteria for all the stage gates for all the tailored method that they've decided to use, right? So they develop it, and this could be done very early, again, during the onboarding process. However, later on, as we work on project, the sponsor or the steering committee can go into the stage gate of their projects, and they can review those default criteria that were established and either accept them or modify them. So in a way, we provided something here that all the project can use on an ongoing basis. However, organization might choose to give the power to the sponsor or the steering committee to modify those stage gate on project by project basis. Ideally, we don't recommend that because it like everybody does whatever they want. There has to be some kind of structure and governance built in. But yet again, we cannot anticipate every possible scenarios that could exist out there. So we leave the flexibility of modifying the stage gate criteria. And the stage gate criteria could be very simple, could be nothing more than just no criteria. I mean, the criteria could be nothing. Yeah, just the subjective decision by the sponsor. The sponsor can review and decide, or it could be very comprehensive, very formal process that might take weeks to go through a stage gate. Right? It all depends on the complexity and the level of effort required and the project and many other factors. All right. So in addition to this, what we try to do to help you as a user is that basically what we do is that when you start a project and you select a tailored method, you will be able to download a template schedule that we have developed in MS Project. You can download it into your drive, and then as you work on every stage, you can import from here. You can go, for example, you are in the concept stage, which is at the very top here, not on, the header is not shown. And you said, look, I want to download all the tasks. Well, basically, in our view, these are work packages that are related to managing and doing the concept stage. So you can go into, when you start working in planning the concept stage, you come here and you link and you download all the tasks from here. In a way, what we're doing here, we are providing you with pre-built in some work packages, some tasks that need to be done, and of course you can choose to use them or ignore them, but you will have to modify them for every project because Many of these are project management work package, so they should be similar for many projects. But the detail depend on your type of project. It's something you'll have to add yourself, right? So all what we're doing here, we're trying to give you a workflow. We give you the process. We give you a high-level schedule to get you started, to save you some time. And there are many things here you can download into the task management module in Uruk to help you to minimize data entry per se. Right, so that will allow you to expedite the work and go faster in your effort. And instead of wasting time on recreating the wheel, you'll have the time to be innovative and creative. We touched on this earlier to basically consolidate. Right now, what we have here, we have these cost management, schedule management, change management, earned value. These are built in, but as we mentioned earlier, they're simplified. Right? Which means what? Which means they are not, for example, for change management, it's not like you have the change management process there where you can go and somebody will initiate and there is forms. We have not done that part yet because we assume that many organizations have their own internal process. However, you will be able to go in and maybe enter the number of changes requested, pending, approved, canceled, and the cost impact, schedule impact will be able to manually enter that data here. So to produce a performance chart. Task management, I touched on that earlier as well, is basically you can see it calendar view or Kanban view or a list view, right? And for example, here, the color coding is there as well. So for example, if you have a task that is here, and not easy to read this, but let's say one of the green tasks at the bottom, and it's shown as 1 day. Right? If you decide to make it 3 days, all what you need is just click on it and drag it, and that become a 3 days or 5 days or whatever the case might be. So these calendar review are not only display, they are also functional, right? If you like to use the Kanban view, of course, you'll have the option of doing that as well. We touched on collaboration earlier, and by collaboration, there are many levels of collaboration. First, there is collaboration with the team, right? So as you work on project, this is, for example, a partial screenshot of the project requirement document. So basically where you have, for example, describe the product, characteristic of the product, expectations, stakeholder input, alternative evaluation. There are many items in here. Again, this is only a partial extract. So typically, and you notice the word link task here, once you download your task from MS Project or you create them yourself, you can link these to a task or more than one task. I mean, maybe there are 3 tasks related to this first work package, the description of the product. And when you link to task, on the task management area, you should have named who is the task leader, or the person responsible for that task. Then basically that task leader is the only one who can input information here. So let's say I have Jack doing the description of the product. I have Pamela doing the characteristic of the product. I have Sammy doing the expectation. So all of these team members will be assigned, and they are the only one. So Sammy is the only one who can enter information about the expectation, right? And Pamela can do the characteristic of the product. No one else can do this except the PM. The PM is the only one who can override everything and do the work. However, if it's assigned, that means the individual assigned to this is the only one who can do the work. However, let's say Jack is doing description of the product, and then you notice here on the right there is a small symbol of like a chat box. Basically, it's not a chat; it's a comment box. Any team member, any person who is assigned to work on the project, not on that specific work package, on the project. So in this case, Pamela, Sammy, right, can also come and comment here. And they can comment before Jack does the work or after, right? So they can provide input here or they can provide feedback later. So there is a team collaboration here. Everybody can come in and work and comment that assigned to that stage. At the end of the work, the project manager and the team could meet, could talk, could review everything that's done here, and then modify and whatever the case might be. And once they are happy with all the work, they can submit the stage deliverable to go to the stage gate. So there's collaboration among the team member at this level, right? While we are working the project and ongoing. In addition to this, there are collaboration at the stage gate. So when we go into a stage gate, we have the criteria. Remember, we talked about that earlier, which we can import from the default and accept or modify. We will have a place here to enter all the decision makers that are involved at that gate. And again, that could be the sponsor only, right? And we don't have to enter any information. Or it could be 3 people or 5 people. There is a place here where is a table where we can enter the relevant information of all the key stakeholders that are involved in the stage gate decision process. So if there are different people involved here, they could be sitting and reviewing, and then they will need a place to document their decision, their discussion. So there is a place for it here through the deliverable review. And finally, at the end of the day, once they're all set and done, the sponsor, as the representative of this group, will have to go into the system and approve the stage gate. So multiple people could be reviewing and discussing. The sponsor is the one who would have to go in and enter the authorization. Or the sponsor will have 4 choices to make: either request revision of the work, or reject the work, which means rejecting the project, terminating the project. So we terminate the project, which will kick us out and take us all the way to the close stage to do the proper closure. Or management said, look, everything looked good, but for some reason we need to put the project on hold. So they can decide to hold the project, and the first choice, of course, is to approve the project. Approve the stage gate, which means we continue to the next stage. So another form of collaboration is management collaboration at the stage gate review. Of course, they can always monitor. In addition to this, we have a chat ability. So basically, the team here, this is different than the comment that we have on the stage deliverable itself. Here, you can have like WhatsApp group or any type of Slack communication, or whatever the case might be. We can create a group for the project. So basically, the project team member could belong in a group, and they can chat among themselves. So there could be private chat for the group, for the project team, using a chat. And there could be anything. It could be asking a question, requesting leave, any kind of information of interest to the team. It could be shared here. However, the team can also chat with anyone else in the organization, and they can go and basically chat with them for whatever relevant business reason. So that is part of the chat. So you can have an organization chat or a team chat. In addition, we have part of the community of practice. We have what we call the community discussion. For example, you might, maybe team members can need help in understanding contingency, and they can go put a post it, hey guys, meaning anyone that is a user of the Uruk platform anywhere in the world. Can anyone share with me how to manage contingency on software project, right? Whatever the case might be. So it could be request for input, request for help, sharing a case study. As long as the users have to be very careful, and we put warnings in the system that not to publish any confidential information. So there is collaboration here within the project team, within the organization, and within the community. So you notice multiple levels of collaboration that exists in the system. All right, just some administrative things. Let's say you want to go and sign up on Uruk. You said, I want to try it. Let me go in. So you do, someone from the organization or you as a person, individual, can go on system and choose sign up. When you go to https://urukplatform.com, you will get ability to sign up or sign in, right? If you don't have an account, obviously sign up. Then you get this kind of screen, and you'll have to select, are you signing up for yourself as an individual, as a single user? That means you will be the only one that have access to that account. You cannot add user, you cannot basically, it's just a single user license, right? Or said, look, no, I'm signing up for an organization, so you'll have to go enter the organization information, organization logo, and other information. And based on the package you subscribe to, later on the plan you select, you will have access but in this case, you will be signing up as an administrator for the company. And there are trial plans right now for both, so they are available for you when you sign up. I'm not going to do a tutorial here or a step-by-step process how to do this. We'll be happy to share with you if you like, and we'll be doing demo versions in the future. But basically, you select the plan that you do. Once you select that plan, later on the account type, later on you have a choice to select the plan. Right, so basically in the plan could be related to number of users or single user or whatever the case might be. All right, I'm almost done. Just to share a few more slides about milestone and to date and going forward. In terms of where we are today, back in December 2021, we had the release, the proof of concept version with one tailored method and the simplified PM functions and the trial plan. That was done. So basically, the first most of 2021 was we were working in what we call a big bang in a way. I mean, the team was using Scrum to develop the different component of the project. However, basically, in terms of beneficial use of working software, that was released as a big bang in December of last year, November, December timeframe. For us to start to do some live testing on it, right? And then gradually every month we have been adding either iterations, meaning improving what we have done before. So many people always confuse the difference between iteration and increment. So iteration is that, like for example here in January 22, you notice we added a critical milestone, right? So that's an increment, right? We added functionality. Basically in the scheduling module, we added a section where the team can enter if they want to put them as a table, not on the schedule, what are the critical milestones. So that was an added functionality, meaning an increment, right? If we want to be academic about these things. The next one here, we have updated the knowledge portal. That means the knowledge portal existed and we did some modification to it or improvement. So in a way, that is the definition of iteration, right? Because we are improving something that already exists. And we also added performance metrics. So that was an increment, right? Again, I'm not going to go through every one of these. You can read them at your leisure if you're interested in the detail. We are here, June 2022. As of today, we have, I shared with you already, we have the tailored method, the 49 tailored method built in as first iteration. We have many other functionality built in. Now in July, maybe I will explain that on the next slide. Or the next slide, not this one. Sorry, I should have put this before earlier. This is basically just a chart to show the progress in terms of adding tailored method. So in November, December timeframe, notice we have one tailored method. In April, we added 3. In May, we added 10. And now we just added 35. And how could you add so many? Because it's that easy, right? But remember, we are basically, in this case, it's the first iteration of a tailored method is basically the life cycle modified, maybe with different stages and name. So for example, the micro project method for us, all micro projects have 4 stages only. The small simplified project, all of them include, I believe, 7 stages. The medium, moderate, and large and complex all each have 9 stages. And if we choose to do BBD, the implementation to split it into 3 stages, for example. So a large complex project could have as many as 12 stages. Again, all what we're doing right now is we are providing those life cycles. We might use different names for some of these stages, right? So basically, like for example, the definition stage. In real estate, they might call it architectural design. In oil and gas, they might call it front-end engineering design. So when we say the first iteration of the tailored method, that means the life cycle is there. The name that we use are probably appropriate for that domain, but we have not done any deep level modification. We leave some of that for the future, and we leave it for the customers to do also do their own specialized tailoring that they might need inside the system. In terms of the roadmap, and we are only showing here the next few months. So basically the first in July, we are working on the tailored method builder. Anyway, what we are doing here, we're creating a wizard. So basically we can make it very easy to build tailored method for you. So as I gave an example earlier, you work in events and you want to have an event tailored method. You work in maintaining buildings and you want a tailored method for that we don't have. We can sit down with you and we can basically within a day or two or three on-site engagement with your people, we come up with a project life cycle and how it look like, where do you need to have the gates, what are the stage criteria, and then maybe we can go away and then also maybe 2-3 more days we can give you a tailored method that is as close as possible to exactly what you need. Obviously, the more time we spend with you, the more detail we can provide. However, most tailored methods that we are building already, they will definitely are excellent starting point. So if you don't have a proper project management system in place or well-defined project management system in place, you can come to us and say, Munir, we want, then great. You can use any of the tailored method or as many of the tailored methods that we have already developed for you, and then you can start to modify them later on, or basically we'll just develop something specific for you. Ideally in August, late August maybe, we could have that functionality available to you as a client, so you can build your own tailored method. Also somewhere between August and September, we will be adding some enhancement, but we will be also adding sustainability and ESG reporting. This is part of our collaboration agreement with GPM Global that we have signed recently. So the next step for us is to sit down and start working the detail of what we need to include in the platform, so organization can start to use the platform to manage their projects and also incorporate the sustainability requirement action into the platform itself. And on top of that, they can also generate reporting that they probably need to use as part of their ESG reporting to government or whoever else they need to have it. Fourth quarter this year, basically the last 3 months of this year, we expect, and maybe earlier, some of this could be happening faster because our development team have been working with us for a while and they're starting to get an excellent handle on the work and understanding the project management concept and methodology. So in the recent weeks and months, the team has been able to increase their speed of development and to do the work at faster rate and with good quality. In the fourth quarter or earlier, we will start working. We'll start rolling out the program management. We'll have probably additional tailored method based on customer feedback, and we plan to start working on the portfolio management. And when we say start, that means potentially we could have some element, some module of. Right now, our portfolio management design about 13 modules or 11 modules. We plan to start working on them. So it is very possible that before the end of the year we could start to release some of those modules out. Maybe 1 or 2. I have no idea yet. We have not done the proper planning for that because it's an agile agility. Dynamic, flexible development approach. So as we come closer, we can work the detail and a better schedule. With this, we thank you. This presentation provide a very good. We did not do a demo. We did not do detail. And then in the coming weeks, we will be doing. I don't know if you can read some of the stuff on my board here, my mini board. Later on, we will start to add many more videos like this one. Some of them could be short, 3-5 minute videos. Some of them could be longer videos. And we will have videos in 3 categories: more educational videos, where we share general educational content, not necessarily specific to Uruk, but there will be also some Uruk demos. So we will be specific demo where we will keep those short, where we go into the platform and actually do a demo of a feature. or a small section in order to keep those demo videos short, but there will be probably as many as 20 or 30 videos for that. And there will be some marketing videos that we'll be doing as well. What we need, I want to close this presentation of asking for your support. Our vision and mission is part of the work we're doing in Uruk Project Management is not only to provide softwares. That's not the primary purpose. Yes, Uruk Platform is a cloud-based solution, it's a software, but the intention of that is to help us provide you with something to trigger transforming the project management practice, to create and help embed a culture of success in managing project. We have seen many reports about project success and project management failures and project budget overrun and schedule issues. We cannot promise you that the Uruk platform will eliminate all of that, because whenever it comes to project management is about people, process, and tools, right, or technology. The process we are building inside the Uruk platform, so you don't have to create your process. This is why we call Uruk as a solution, not a tool, right? Because it provides you the framework, it provides you the guideline, it provides you the workflow, the stages, the deliverables, the stage gate, managing every stage. How do you integrate with the processes? We are providing all of that. We are providing educational content. The life cycle methodologies that we are using, it helps you integrate project management with product management and asset management and the business side. It helps you integrate with operation toward the end. We did not elaborate on the operation readiness stages that we have going on. So Uruk is basically a complete, comprehensive, versatile solution to help you improve and transform the project management practice in your organization and across the community of project management. Again, we are here not to provide tools, we are here to help embed a culture of winning, a culture of success in project management. To do so, we need help. Okay, in a startup world, we work currently in a bootstrap mode with an extremely tiny team. Sometimes people will talk about us, and you feel like when they're talking about, they think that we have maybe 10 or 15 people working with me. We have a tiny team because we have been bootstrapped, trying to get the software solution out to you, for you to use to start getting benefit from it as soon as possible. However, in order to grow the platform, to develop the new component and to work toward the long-term vision and help organization, we need to build our team. And in order to be able to go to market and provide the right support for our clients, we need to be able to continue development. And for this, we need investment. So we have the ability for the public to invest through the crowdfunding campaign we have ongoing today at wefunder.com. You can access from our website to urukpm.com. You go to the investment tab. You will see the option for you where how can you get involved. You can see what we've done in the past in terms of fundraising and what we are doing today. And you will have the opportunity, if you are a general person that is not considered as by US term as an accredited investor, you will have the WeFunder ability to invest through the WeFunder anywhere from $100 all the way to $100,000. Obviously, when you cross $2,000, I think WeFunder are going to make sure that you are accredited or you have the means to invest larger amount of money. But you can invest anything from 100 to, again, and there are some perks for everybody. You invest like $250, you will get some ebooks and other factors as well. And of course, investing at larger amount will give you access to the software itself. Right? So we have that mechanism available to you open today, and will be open only for a short period of time. And then after that, we will also be looking for, if you are accredited investors, you have the choice of investing directly through SUCAD as well. And again, all of that will be equity based, right? So we're not asking for reward, we're not asking for donation. We are asking you to be an investor, meaning you become a partner, you become a shareholder in Uruk Project Management. One final statement here, to help you learn more, we are going to publish this video, but also every Thursday at noon US Central Time, Houston time, I will be online and I'll open Zoom for 1 hour, right? Anyone can come into those sessions and then ask questions about the platform itself, about investing in the platform. You could be alone in the room with me, or you could be other people involved. So these questions should be open, not confidential. However, if you'd like to have a private discussion with me, that's also possible. If you go to Calendly Munir Ajam, calendly.com/Munir Ajam, you will be able to find places where you can register or sign up for a direct one-on-one meeting with me if you like to talk more in private. With this, I thank you again, and I wish you success today, tomorrow, and always.